National Wages Council, or NWC, has put forward a recommendation for a 5.5% to 7.5% pay rise for lower wage workers in 2026. This move is aimed at helping those who need it most, especially as the cost of living continues to rise. The NWC's guidelines are designed to encourage employers to support their lower wage employees and close the income gap. However, it's important to remember that these are just recommendations, not mandatory rules. So while the intention is to uplift lower wage workers, the actual impact depends on how many companies choose to follow these guidelines. Let's take a closer look at what's really happening in the workplace. Despite the NWC's positive push, the reality is that not all companies are planning to increase wages. In fact, the proportion of firms intending to raise pay has actually dropped. According to recent data, only 22.4% of companies plan to increase wages, down from 24.4% previously. This means that even though the guidelines are in place, fewer firms are taking action. There could be many reasons for this, such as economic uncertainty, business costs, or other priorities. For workers, this means that the recommended pay rise is far from guaranteed and many may not see any change in their salaries. What does this all mean for lower wage workers? While the NWC's guidelines set a hopeful target, the actual number of workers who will benefit depends on company decisions. Since the guidelines are not legally binding, firms can choose whether or not to implement them. As a result, many workers may not receive the recommended pay rise despite the council's efforts. This highlights the gap between policy recommendations and real-world outcomes. For meaningful change, it may take more than just guidelines. It requires commitment from businesses and perhaps stronger incentives or support to ensure more workers benefit.